Hello and welcome. You have joined Why Accept Membership in Phi Theta Kappa. This will be a very informal discussion this evening. It is a webinar just because that's how we chose to format everything so we can fit as many people as possible in here. So if you're wondering, we cannot hear or see you, we can only read your questions. So make sure as you think of a question, you go ahead and hover over that Q&A box and type in your question this evening. If you have any technical difficulties, if you can't see or hear us, please go ahead and write in the chat box. And that way we'll have Ariel on our staff here that's joining us this evening tend to your technical difficulties or needs. But any content related questions, please go ahead and enter that in the Q&A box to make sure that it reaches our attention. My name is Heather Schmidt and I serve as the Director of Membership Services at Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. And I have a few panelists here to introduce, and I'll turn it over first to my counterpart over at headquarters, Ariel, and then we'll also introduce you to our student member as well as a representative of a four-year partner in excellence, Arkansas Technical University, Arkansas Tech. So go ahead, Ariel, if you want to say hello and tell us a little bit about your background and pass it on over to Audrey. Thank you.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Ariel Charbonnet. I serve as the Manager of Member Support and Outreach at Phi Theta Kappa. I've been involved with Phi Theta Kappa for about 4 months now, so I have really gotten a crash course in these webinars in the last 4 months, and I really have enjoyed them. I will provide my contact information in the chat box in the Q&A at the end of the webinar, so if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thanks. I'll pass it along to Audrey.
Audrey, do you want to go ahead and do an introduction? I think she might have some technical difficulties at the moment. She's probably trying to rejoin us, but Audrey is actually a current member who is at Ivy Tech campus in Muncie, Indiana. And she is an on-campus student as well as a very busy mother. And I think you see her now on the screen, very timely. She's popped back in on us. So we're very happy to have Audrey join us as a student to share her perspective on Phi Theta Kappa. Audrey, do you want to say anything? I don't know if you have your audio up yet. It's like she's still trying to work on that. So we'll go ahead and pass it over to Samantha, and I'll let her do a little introduction of her role at Arkansas Tech.
Hi, I'm Samantha Huggins. I'm the transfer coordinator at Arkansas Tech University, and we're located in Russellville, Arkansas. And I'm excited to hear any questions you might have about our Phi Theta Kappa scholarships or anything like that.
Thank you very much, Samantha. And again, just to reiterate, this whole discussion is for all of you who have joined us this evening, whether you're a student or a prospective member, current member, an officer, an advisor, whoever you may be, whatever role you serve, we want you to ask questions. And Ariel, just go ahead and speak up if you see any questions that are coming in. We're happy to take those as they come in. You all are not interrupting the flow of the webinar whatsoever. We want to hear from you. All right, let's go ahead and switch the slide here. We'll get started with the presentation. Just because some of you may be prospective members, I want to start off with what is Phi Theta Kappa? You might have wandered into this webinar just out of curiosity for what even Phi Theta Kappa means or what PTK stands for. So just quickly, I will tell you that our organization is very proud to be nearly 100 years old. We just had our 99th annual international convention in Nashville a couple weeks ago. And we're getting ready for our centennial celebration, which will be in Kansas City, Missouri, about this time next year. And Phi Theta Kappa, if you have been invited and you're still deciding whether or not to join, Audrey was a student once in your situation or in your shoes, and she was a student who probably did some research much like you are in trying to find out what we stand for. I'll tell you first what we're not. We are not a fraternity or sorority despite our Greek letters. We are actually an honor society that serves two-year college students. And our name sounds a lot like Phi Beta Kappa, which is also a very old and prestigious four-year college honor society. And so not to be confused, we are the organization and honor society that serves two-year college students. And our mission statement's on the screen right now. So if you're wondering a little bit about what we stand for, essentially Phi Theta Kappa is here to recognize your academic excellence, and we are here to provide you with opportunities for scholarship and leadership. that takes many forms in all different parts of the country, and we do serve all 50 states as well as 9 nations. And so you'll find chapters of Phi Theta Kappa in every part of the country that you see here on this map. So I always like to show this because we are truly an international honor society with chapters in places like Canada, Germany, the United Arab Emirates, and also some of the Pacific Islands as well. And I want to take one step back here. Audrey, I don't know if you can hear me yet, but I'd like to hear if you happen to be able to share about your experience with the membership invitation. I'm not sure if you remember when you were invited or if you accepted membership the first time that you received the invitation. So if you have the ability to talk to us, anything you want to share about the membership invitation and how that went for you, I'd love to hear. I'm going to unmute you. Okay, there you go.
To me, I'm having a hard time keeping my connection.
Oh, I can hear you just fine. Do you want to share with us about how you were invited to Phi Theta Kappa?
Okay. I'm having a hard time keeping my...
She said she can hear you.
I think we can hear you just fine. So.
I got an invitation to Phi Theta Kappa when I was in school the first time 6 years ago, and I didn't know what it was.
Wow.
The second time I got invited, I joined, I understood what it was and I joined, and it's been a really good experience for me.
That is wonderful. And if anyone's wondering how you get to be invited, as Audrey mentioned, she was invited twice, once 6 years ago and once more recently. So essentially, you have to have a 3.5 or better. There is a little asterisk and a note there about the GPA might vary, and I'll talk to you in a minute about that. But as long as you have earned 12 or more credit hours of degree applicable coursework, as long as you're working toward an associate degree or working toward a certificate program, and you have a high GPA, you will be invited to join Phi Theta Kappa. As I mentioned earlier, we're all over 50 states, 9 nations, and we are really truly there to support and serve each individual campus community. So we have about 1,300 chapters in total, and all of those chapters function differently because they're there to support the college campus on which they are located. So for some schools, a 3.5 GPA might be entirely appropriate, but for others it might be a 3.4 or a 3.6. So there is a slight amount of variation just because the school is the one chartering the chapter and they get to make some decisions about that. But generally speaking, the most common or average GPA that we see is a 3.5. So we really do hold our members to a very high standard. If you have a semester where maybe things didn't go so well and you slip down below a 3.5, usually the chapter has a separate maintenance GPA. So you'll just want to make sure you're aware of that when you join your chapter, and just stay above your maintenance GPA, and you'll preserve all of your membership benefits. You'll maintain access to our website. You'll be able to travel with your chapter and do all of the things that are considered membership benefits. So that's a common question we get, and I just wanted to dispel any myths that you're going to be kicked out of Phi Theta Kappa. As long as you ask your advisor about your maintenance GPA, everything will be just fine and your membership will remain intact. And it is a lifetime membership that requires just a one-time payment. So it's not like annual fees or dues or anything like that. It's a one-time membership fee that lasts for life, for your lifetime. As far as your eligibility is concerned as well, you'll continue to receive an invitation every semester that you're eligible. And precisely why is, as Audrey illustrated, sometimes the first time you receive the invitation, you're really not ready for it because you don't know what it is, or you haven't talked to your advisor or other students who are part of Phi Theta Kappa. So you might be one of those folks who unfortunately think it's a sorority or fraternity, and if that's not something you're wanting to do, then you might just disregard it. So please be on the lookout. If you received it and you missed your opportunity, there will be another one as long as your GPA remains above your eligibility GPA for your local chapter. And Ariel, I'm not sure if she's already done this or not, but typically we like to share a link that will make it very easy for you to quickly and easily locate your advisor. And we want you to find your advisor, even if you haven't received an invitation yet, because we want you to be able to talk to your advisor about what the GPA requirement is and understand when to expect your invitation. There's some very exciting things we don't want you to miss out on, like induction and orientation, and we'll talk about some of these terms in a little bit. So if you want to find your advisor, there is a website that will quickly and easily allow you to locate this, and I see it popping up in the chat box. And the best part about meeting with your advisor is this is a faculty or staff member on your local campus. So earlier I mentioned that Audrey is a student at Ivy Tech in Muncie. There is an actual staff or faculty member, or one or two or three sometimes, that serve as Phi Theta Kappa advisors on that particular campus. So we really want you to connect with them. As much as we'd love to hear from you at headquarters, Ariel and I can help to some extent, but we don't know when all the dates and deadlines are for your local chapter, and we don't want you to miss out on any opportunities. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about structure a little bit. Audrey, I think this would be a great point for you to make if you have the ability to talk to us here. And I'm showing a little graphic of our society structure. And mainly the point of this graphic is to show if you want to really maximize your membership benefits, you will want to engage at the local, the regional, and the international level of Phi Theta Kappa. So Audrey, I don't know if you've had a chance to run for chapter officer or regional officer or any of these opportunities, but I would just like to hear your perspective on what it means to have these opportunities in front of you.
Sorry.
Heather, I think you're muted right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Audrey, do you want to talk about some leadership opportunities through Phi Theta Kappa?
Sure. I'm sorry, I lost connection again. I have when I got inducted into Phi Theta Kappa, I was actually inducted as an officer, and it has been really fun for me to become an officer. By being an officer, I was able to go to our International Catalyst conference this year, and I made some friends there. And I've had some really good experiences. I went to our Indiana Regional Conference, and it was a lot of fun, and I made a lot of friends there as well. And it's nice to connect with people that are like you, that think a lot like you and talk like you. You just learn a lot of skills when you're an officer, and it just seems like it makes it a lot different of an experience for you. And I've really enjoyed being one for my local chapter.
Thank you, Audrey. So even if you are a mother and a full-time student, right, you have a lot on your plate right now, and she has found time to also serve her chapter as a chapter officer. And I think actually, Samantha, I'd like to bring you into this conversation, because even though you may not have been a Phi Theta Kappa member yourself, I think that hearing Audrey's perspective as a student might help from a four-year recruiter and admissions counselor point of view. What do you think the value of serving in these chapter officer positions might be as far as when someone goes to apply for your university or for a scholarship, for instance?
Our scholarships are very competitive. We only have a limited budget of how much we can give to each transfer student, and definitely showing that you remember Phi Theta Kappa, you have a good GPA, your involvement as well. As of right now, we don't have a separate application for transfer scholarships. And so this fall, we're actually going to be putting another one in. And so that will actually be able, you'll actually be able to put down on there that you were an officer or you're involved in other things as well. And that will definitely stand out to us when we go to choose scholarships that way.
Thank you, Samantha. And I think that's important to hear from someone that's a four-year college representative, because at Phi Theta Kappa, we're always telling, and your advisor will tell you as well, it's really important to be an active member. But sometimes it's hard to think, okay, why is it important to be an active member? People keep telling me it's important, but why is it really important? So great point. You're going to have to compete. You know, scholarship money, money at all isn't usually handed to you. So there's always something involved, whether it's writing an essay or going in front of an interviewer or something of that nature. So it's really important to compete for that scholarship. And Audrey's really putting herself on the map here in terms of the chapter officer position, because there's probably plenty of members who never took on that role and could not really speak to that. So it certainly gives you an advantage, and that's what we want our members to do is really take advantage of their membership as much as possible in every way they can. And you can certainly climb up the ladder, so to speak, if you want to be a regional officer or even an international officer. You can run for these positions, and there's not really a structure that says you have to do the chapter officer first. You can jump right in and become a regional officer, or jump right in and become an international officer. These are elected, usually elected positions. Definitely the international officer positions are elected by your peers at Phi Theta Kappa's annual convention. So great skills that you're building all along the way if you're going to run for an officer position. And I encourage everyone that's a student who is in a chapter to really consider this, even though it might seem a little intimidating. It's plenty worth it. All right, chapter involvement, I'll talk about this quickly. And Audrey, if you see anything on here that jumps out as an experience that you want to talk about, certainly jump in and tell the students about your experience with it. But we have a lot going on for you at the chapter level. So even if you're thinking, I'm too busy, I want to join, but I don't want to have all of these mandatory requirements. The beauty of Phi Theta Kappa is that you're going to get out what you put in. And we don't require you to put anything in, really. If you want to become a member and have this on your transcript, and that's it, and that's all you have time for, actually, that's okay. But we do want you to maximize your benefits, because it's going to make the best situation for you in the long run if you have some more of these experiences to draw from and some skills to develop from these opportunities. So the induction ceremony, I would highlight as something you should definitely attend. You're going to feel immediately connected to the other members on your campus and in your chapter. Probably my favorite part of the induction ceremony is seeing all of the friends and family and mentors that have helped people get where they are, because no one really gets where they are alone. So it's a wonderful experience to share with your family and your supporters, to show them that because of their sacrifices and their belief in you, you've made it to this point, and they get to watch you become part of the society. So I would definitely encourage you to get involved with your induction ceremony, and once you're inducted, give back to the other members and help plan the ceremony and make it very special and meaningful. So that's another way to develop some great transferable skills as well. Chapter meetings and orientations are important as well. And Audrey, if you want to jump in and talk about any of the things that you see here, I think it would be great to hear some of your perspective.
Well, the induction ceremony is really interesting and neat. At our spring induction, we actually had some of our regional officers come and help us with our induction ceremony. So we got to see some of our friends we hadn't seen for a few weeks. And when we were finished with induction, a group of us, including one of our new inductees, got together and went and had dinner when it was over. And we spent a long time visiting. And I feel like that is all part of what Phi Theta Kappa is all about.
That's excellent. It's an instant community. It's a bond that you have that you really don't have to explain, because everyone has done exactly what you've done to get there. So you're really surrounded by like-minded individuals who have the same goals and ambitions as you. And that's actually one of our 4 hallmarks, that if you're ever asked, what does Phi Theta Kappa stand for? What does it mean to you? Usually the response for our members is going to be scholarship, leadership, fellowship, and service. And those are really the 4 kind of founding ideals that date all the way back to 1918 when we were founded. You'll find that in our Constitution, which is almost 100 years old. So there's a lot of history and prestige behind Phi Theta Kappa, and as long as you accept membership, you can also say that you are an ambassador and you stand for those same ideals. So that's really the coolest part to me of the whole society, is we have 1,300 chapters that all function a little differently to serve their campus and their community, but they all come together on those 4 topics or 4 ideals. So you'll see all of those outlined in some way on this slide. And I do want to point out a couple of things that might seem a little more difficult to understand right away. Competitive Edge and collegefish.org. I'll briefly reference these, and Audrey, I'm not sure if you have experience with them, so jump in if you do. But Competitive Edge is an online professional development program that, as a member or an advisor or an alum, you have access to, and you can do this on your own time and on your own initiative. So it's a wonderful thing to highlight when you go to apply for admission or a scholarship to Arkansas Tech University or any of our 800 Partners in Excellence that we have offering 4-year college scholarships to PTK members, they will want to hear about things like this, because it's literally something that you're not required to do, but that you might have taken a whole weekend to go through all the different modules and complete this professional development course, really because you want to be a better person and you want to develop yourself personally and professionally.
Right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Thank you. I'm appreciating that you know about it.
I do know about the competitive edge, and I want to do my training for it because I want to have that as one of the things I've done and accomplished as a chapter member and as an officer. But you definitely have to make sure that your password works so you can get on and do that training. But I think it's a very good training. And I don't know a lot about the college fish yet, but I am learning.
And College Fish will actually kind of relate into Samantha's role over at Arkansas Tech, because College Fish really connects our 2-year college students with our 4-year college recruiters. So for instance, someone like Samantha, who's on the call today from Arkansas Tech, she can use College Fish to go in and find students like Audrey who may be interested in transferring to a 4-year college to finish her bachelor's degree. And she can actually obtain an email address for a student and also tell them, hey, I'm coming to your campus, or I'm going to be at a conference nearby. Do you want to meet at a coffee shop and chat about Arkansas Tech? So it's a really cool kind of tool that we use where students build profiles to essentially market themselves and be able to tell 4-year universities who have Phi Theta Kappa scholarships, hey, I'm looking to transfer. I want to finish my bachelor's degree in marketing, for example. So it's a great way to connect and find a 4-year college and a scholarship that will match up for you. And College Fish has all the transfer scholarships offered. So it's more than just the PTK scholarship. It will also have all of the general transfer scholarships offered by a university as well.
That's good. I didn't know about that part.
Yes. So don't ever use Google again. If you're a Phi Theta Kappa member, Google is bad. Collegefish.org is good. And I actually call it, this might not be the best way to describe it, but I think in your heads it will all make sense pretty instantly. I call it the Match.com of Phi Theta Kappa for students looking for scholarships and transfer institutions. Because when you talk about building your profile, that's what you instantly think. You know, that was what we hear when we watch those commercials for those dating services. So it's very similar. It uses an algorithm. If you're not a math person like me, I'll just trust that it works somehow magically. But there is an algorithm that's running in the background to weigh different factors, like how close you live, how close do you want to live to your 4-year college, or do you not care where you live? So it asks you a ton of questions to really try to hone in on the best matches for you. So definitely use College Fish. It's free. It's a great membership benefit that we offer through Phi Theta Kappa. It's a lot better than just randomly searching the internet. It organizes your search pretty well, and you get to save your top 10 schools and your scholarship opportunities to go back and work on at your own pace. Recognition. This is another point that I think I'll bring Samantha in as well. Every 4-year college is a little different in terms of how you get to tell the 4-year colleges, for example, that you're a member of Phi Theta Kappa. Once you accept membership, you're going to get a membership certificate in the mail, and you'll also get the pin that you see outlined in yellow on the screen. That's our Golden Key membership pin, which we're very proud of. Again, it stands for about 99 years of history and heritage we have as a society. So it's very special to our members. And the certificate's really nice. You can frame it. Definitely a frame-worthy document and something you should be proud of as well. So we wear these pins and our chapter officer medallions and all of this kind of bling that we have through Phi Theta Kappa. But as far as your transcript is concerned, Samantha, I don't know if your school requires Phi Theta Kappa membership to appear on the transcript, or if the student can contact you as an admissions counselor and tell you they're a member. Can you talk to us about how you're going to be able to recognize a Phi Theta Kappa member?
We just require either you send us a copy of your certificate or your membership card, or that it's on your transcript, just some way that we can validate that you are a Phi Theta Kappa member.
Not too difficult, as long as you don't lose your documents or lose our phone number or email address, so we can verify. And certainly if someone were to email us and try to verify your membership, we're going to be as helpful as we can at headquarters to make sure you get that documentation to your school. Sometimes those just simply having it on your transcript might mean an automatic scholarship. In some parts of the country, they literally give a scholarship to every Phi Theta Kappa member. In other parts of the country, it's competitive because they put quite a few dollars behind those scholarships, and they want to make sure that they're offering as much as they can to the top students that are available. And so I just wanted to show you that pin so you'll see what you're expecting in the mail, but there's all kinds of other types of we probably have things that I've never even seen before. There's a pin if you come visit headquarters, which I don't know if anyone knows where headquarters is located, but if you want to use the chat box and tell us where you think headquarters is located, that's always a fun trivia question. So let us know. There's no prize on the line, just some pride for you to have tonight if you guess the answer of where headquarters is located. Ariel, you can tell us if anyone figures it out. Might be a little while. We're good? We already got it? Oh, okay, not yet. Okay, so we'll keep you thinking about that. But we have a special pin, as I mentioned, if you come visit headquarters that you get only if you visit. We have other pins through our Phi Theta Kappa store that are available. The five-star competitive edge pin is at the bottom right. You see the little Phi Theta Kappa with the 5 gold stars. A lot of our advisors will purchase those in bulk and hand them out to students and pin them as they complete 5-star competitive edge. So every chapter, like I said, is a little different as far as how you acquire your recognition. But we also want to point out, we hope you will complete. And when you graduate, we want you to wear our Phi Theta Kappa stole, honors cords, and tassel, which you'll see this member on the screen. If you're looking at a computer right now, you'll see her all decked out in her college regalia, which is all Phi Theta Kappa specific. So always check with your local chapter and make sure that you're allowed to wear all of our regalia at graduation. And also check with your advisor because they might want to give you regalia to wear at graduation if you meet certain requirements that they have. They may be in a position financially to purchase some of these items for you. So it's always good to check with them before you go ahead and buy all of this. But it's great. It gets you ready for graduation. Audrey, I don't know if you're planning to wear the regalia at graduation, but we certainly hope you will stand out and represent our organization proudly.
I would love to if we're allowed.
That's always good to check. Yeah, most schools have no problem with it as long as they have a chapter. But if you want to go to your 4-year college graduation and wear it, like at the 4-year college, usually you want to definitely check with them to make sure that they're okay with it. But we've even had success stories of students wearing our regalia at the 4-year college graduation as well, which is super special, just that they have that affinity for Phi Theta Kappa even at the next level. All right, scholarships. So the much awaited slide of money and funding and helping you complete what you started. So I want to actually turn it over to Samantha before I go through all these numbers, because these are our Phi Theta Kappa scholarships that we offer through our organization that I'm going to talk about today. But you will see below where it says 37 million. Samantha's institution, Arkansas Tech University, actually factors into this 37 million because we have about 800 colleges that offer offer students who are members of Phi Theta Kappa with some sort of PTK specific scholarship. I'll repeat that because it's a lot. 800 4-year colleges and universities across the country offer specific scholarships just for Phi Theta Kappa members. So it is exclusive, and Arkansas Tech University is one of those 4-year institutions that has decided that Phi Theta Kappa members are worthy of an investment, and a pretty large one, I believe. So I'll let Samantha tell you about the scholarships available at her institution.
We do have a few different scholarships available, but our Phi Theta Kappa scholarship is our highest scholarship. We just require that you remember Phi Theta Kappa and have a 3.5 GPA or higher. They are very competitive. We do offer at least 2 scholarships in the fall semester and in the spring semester. This upcoming fall, we're actually going to be offering 5 scholarships, and these scholarships are $3,000 a semester. And for tuition and fees at Arkansas Tech, it's usually around a little over $3,000 for taking 15 hours of classes. And for in-state tuition, you actually, any state that touches Arkansas, so any contiguous state, like Oklahoma, Missouri, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee, all that touch Arkansas, will get in-state tuition. Our other scholarships, they depend on our funds available, but they're usually around $1,000. So it's a big difference in the money that you could receive just by being a member of Phi Theta Kappa. We do require, if you are going to receive a transfer scholarship, that you enroll in 15 hours of classes to earn that scholarship. Is there anything else you wanted me to mention?
I think that is excellent. We hear all types of different values of scholarships, and that is extremely generous, basically paying for the full tuition costs for students who are part of those in-states. And actually the fact that Arkansas is expanding its boundaries and referring to in-state as a much larger geographic area than just your state is incredible.
Yes.
So we truly appreciate, on behalf of all of us at Phi Theta Kappa, we appreciate Arkansas Tech stepping up and taking a lead role in your region and offering those incredible scholarships for students. So if you want to go to Arkansas Tech, you have Samantha as your main contact as a transfer coordinator. And I also want to start adding on some more scholarships to the plate, so to speak, because even if you were a student who were to go to Arkansas Tech, for example, and get one of these amazing $3,000 per semester scholarships, you could potentially earn a scholarship through Phi Theta Kappa as well. So I know that usually there's some limitations with cost of attendance where you're not supposed to make more money than it costs to go to school. So you might have to have a special situation here to make sure you can cash in on all of these scholarships if you're a really good competitor in the applicant pool. But we do have students that have received the Phi Theta Kappa scholarships that I'm about to talk about, in addition to stacking those on to the university-based scholarships that are offered through the four-year college. So it's always best to apply to as many scholarships as possible to maximize your opportunity. And through Phi Theta Kappa, you're going to see on your screen here, we offer 21 different programs. So when you go to our website, ptk.org/scholarships, you will see 21 different descriptions of scholarship programs. They're not meant to overwhelm you. In fact, they're divided very neatly into categories according to associate, bachelor's, or master's. And you can essentially just look at the scholarships that apply to your situation. So for example, right now we have our spring scholarship application open until May 2nd. If you're a student with 36 or less credit hours, we encourage you to click on the associate degree scholarships that you're going to find on our website, because those scholarships are meant to help you continue your two-year college degree. And if you were to earn one, you would be able to use that money. That money goes directly to you. It doesn't go to your school. So if you win one of our scholarships, you will be handed the money, and then you'll be able to use that to pay for your books, your tuition, your fees, possibly whatever your Pell Grant isn't covering if you're eligible for financial aid. So we want you to use that money responsibly for your two-year college education so you can complete. That's really what Phi Theta Kappa is all about, is helping you to continue your education and persist and overcome obstacles to make sure that you get to graduate and complete your program, whether it's a certificate or an associate degree. If you have more than 36 hours, you'll really want to turn your attention to our website in the fall semester. And for about 2 months in the fall, September through November, we'll have our fall scholarship application turned on for students with 36 or more credits. And that money is meant to help you get your bachelor's degree. So you're kind of on your way out or finishing up your program. And if you win a scholarship through us, you'll get your money to continue your four-year degree, your bachelor's degree in the next following fall semester. So that would be a student who, for example, could go to Arkansas Tech, get a scholarship through them if they're lucky enough to be awarded with one of those very competitive scholarships, and then stack it on to the scholarship money that we have provided you through our Phi Theta Kappa scholarship application. So just to give you some general metrics, 71,000 students typically start our fall and spring applications. I put start to show you how many potential people will be applying. We know not everyone finishes an application even though they start it, but we do award about 500 scholars annually, and it equals about $1 million in scholarship award money that we hand out to students, in addition to that $37 million from our transfer institutions that you'll find in collegefish.org. If anyone wants to offer any suggestions, advice, or more perspective on scholarships, I know that's really on the minds of a lot of our students, and our advisors also are constantly being asked for help with scholarships. So anything y'all can provide that will help shed some light on this topic would be excellent.
I got a $300 scholarship to help me when I went to conference, the international conference this year, and all I had to do was do an essay on the 4 hallmarks to get it, and it was really fun to get.
Was that offered to your chapter or your region, or do you happen to know, Audrey?
I think it was offered through my region, but I'm not sure if it was, I know it wasn't my chapter. I think it was the Indiana region that offered it. And I could use that 300 for anything I wanted, but I chose to put it away and use it for international conference. But it was really exciting because I got the recognition for it at our state conference or regional conference, and it was just really neat.
That's wonderful, and I appreciate the Indiana region for using their funds that way, because every region does have a regional treasury. So if you're planning to join Phi Theta Kappa and you think that you're going to have to foot the bill for everything every time you want to do something, that may not be the case. And especially if you're resourceful and willing to do fundraising, a lot of our chapters are extremely successful even with on-campus fundraisers. And then they can go talk to their foundation and ask for funding through their foundation or through their administration on campus. So there's a lot of ways to join and make things happen so that your members will be taken care of and be able to afford some of these wonderful opportunities for travel. So Audrey from Indiana got to go all the way down to Nashville, Tennessee for the international conference this year. So pretty special opportunity for you. I'm glad you were able to attend. Ariel, I don't know if there's any questions you need to bring up for us about scholarships. I haven't been checking the queue very often, but if you have anything we need to discuss, or maybe some frequently asked questions that are coming in that we could clear up.
Sure. We do have a question that says, if I receive a scholarship, is it only valid for transferring to a university, or can it be used for a professional degree or medical school or an advanced degree?
That is a great question. Through our Phi Theta Kappa application, we actually have only a limited number right now, but we are always developing relationships, and we've been doing that for about 4 decades now to get to the point where we have 800 transfer scholarship opportunities at our 4-year colleges. But we also have GEICO scholarships for our master's degree students. So if you were to earn one of those particular GEICO scholarships, you're going to have to make sure that you meet the eligibility requirements to even complete the application. So we would already know that you're a graduate student pursuing a master's degree. So if you are receiving any of the scholarships through Phi Theta Kappa, those associate, bachelor's, or master's degree scholarships, you really are using those for the education that you've indicated you're about to pursue in your application. We don't really technically have anything for law school or medical school students per se. Again, they're really more those traditional master's degrees that the GEICO application is geared toward. So I hope you'll understand we are always trying to develop and make new connections. We do have some exciting things like a brand new scholarship for the NCLEX, which is the nursing examination that students will take in order to get their certification. So if you're a nursing student and you happen to be listening, or you know any nursing students, please let them know about the Hearst Review NCLEX scholarship. All of that will make sense to any student who is in the nursing field. But it's a great opportunity to get a scholarship to help you take the test, which is very expensive, and it waives the test fee as well as provides resources to help you prepare so you can pass the test on the first time that you take it. That's just one example of an opportunity that's kind of outside the traditional realm of scholarships that might help give you some perspective on what we offer. Great questions. I'm glad we have professional-minded students or graduate school-minded students in the audience today, because we do know our members tend to go on to graduate school at a much higher rate than our non-members. We actually covered this already, but I did want to flip ahead and make sure we're being timely here. We're at the end of our presentation almost, and we can take some questions. But I did want to point out, as I mentioned earlier, if you're really maximizing your membership or leveraging it to its full advantage, you would have opportunities at the regional and international level. And Audrey gave a great example of regional involvement as well as international involvement by mentioning a regional scholarship opportunity, which she won. And so that's one example of what you can do at the regional level, which means the whole country is divided into 29 regions of Phi Theta Kappa. So Audrey's in the Indiana region, for example, and Samantha, for example, is in the Oklahoma-Arkansas region of Phi Theta Kappa. Ariel and I are down here in Mississippi, Louisiana region of Phi Theta Kappa. So we've really kind of carved up the map into 29 different spaces or areas so that our students can get to other parts of their state or their region and connect with members and really have good fellowship as well as service opportunities to share some ideas and really develop their chapter and their region at the same time. So some of that involves regional conferences, which allow you to travel maybe to a different part of your state or region, and also to work with some different leaders, some different officers, different advisors, and really learn from them as well. So that scholarship that Audrey referenced came from her region, and then it allowed her to go to an international event, which was called PTK Catalyst, our international convention. And we also have a very large regional event, international event coming up as well in the summer called Honors Institute, where you can dive into our honors study topic and really focus for an entire week on hearing some incredible guest speakers. And they'll really help step up your game with your critical thinking skills, as well as your ability to have discourse and really small, intimate discussions with members of chapters from all over the country. So that's a little bit about what that would entail. And if you are able to fundraise and get together for our PTK Catalyst 2018 edition, which is our centennial in Kansas City, we're going to also feature, again, our largest college transfer fair. We are very proud to say we have the largest college transfer fair. We had 113 four-year colleges and universities in one space at one time in Nashville, and we plan to do it again in Kansas City. And so representatives from universities such as Arkansas Tech will be invited to come to the four-year college transfer fair, and they will have access to about 4,000 members and advisors who choose to attend our international convention. So a lot of times deals are made on the spot where students find out about scholarships and then they go home and apply, and they'll trace their membership back, they'll trace their decision to go to a four-year college back to that day when they met that recruiter at the transfer fair at PTK Catalyst. So we're there about making connections and having a strong network. Did you meet anyone, Audrey, at PTK Catalyst?
I did, actually. I made a connection with somebody that named Amanda Condon that has a scholarship hotspot on Facebook, and I joined that group, and I get notifications all the time for scholarships and opportunities for non-traditional students or students that are special, for certain programs, and it's just a really good tool. And I found the education forums to be very helpful for my chapter at home, and especially as an officer, we learned information about fundraising and different ways to work together for our community and for different things that we do. So I learned a lot about that, and I met a person I think she was from Pakistan, when I was waiting to go into one of the education forums, and I'm staying in touch with that person. So there's a lot to be said for going to an international conference. You do meet, it is a big college fair. It's really interesting. It's just it's fascinating the way everything works at the international conferences, and it's a great opportunity.
Thanks for sharing that, Audrey. It's hard to explain the enthusiasm and it's almost like a religious experience where it's really difficult to explain what just happened type of thing, because everyone is so pumped up and energized and just really on the same page about what their goals are. And it's a really, truly special event. I think membership in Phi Theta Kappa in general is truly special, but getting to go to the international convention is really like the epitome of Phi Theta Kappa and brings it all together into one perspective. So I appreciate the fact that you're able to reach out to some students from some other cultures and perhaps people that you would never have met had you not been able to go to international convention. So that's a great opportunity for sure.
I feel like you also make a lot of professional contacts for when you graduate and you're going to be going on to your field. You meet a lot of people there that can really help you stay connected in the professional field as well as personal friends.
That's a great point. We actually had a student member who I happened to be emailing with about her membership certificate or something, some sort of mundane, everyday request that we get. And it turned into a conversation where she told me she was in a hiring position. She's a manager now for seven different types of industry. And she's like the recruiter, the headhunter that finds all of the great prospects for those jobs. And she literally told me because she was a member of Phi Theta Kappa and she believed in it so strongly and felt that it shaped her life and who she is, that she took that as one of her criteria. She would sort applications based on whether or not they were a member of Phi Theta Kappa and bump those to the top of the pile. So as far as networking, you are part of a new member, a new family, or a new community. We do call it the Phi Theta Kappa family for a reason. And we believe that our students are going to be able to get ahead if they can leverage and network successfully using some of those skill set developers that we have, like call it competitive edge, or going to a regional conference or international event. So it really all comes together under those 4 hallmarks of Phi Theta Kappa, and we're really trying to help you build yourself as a professional, as a person as well. So that's great examples, great perspective to share. And I'm going to go ahead and go forward here. Audrey, if you want to go ahead and talk to us, I want to see what's next. I think it's my contact information, which I want to show everyone so they have a minute to write it down if they need it. But go ahead and talk to us a little more, Audrey, about any opportunities you might want to share.
Well, I feel like it's a great, the international conference was a great opportunity, and so was the regional conference. So this summer, I'm going to go ahead and go to the Honors Institute and learn a little bit more about research, because I feel like that's probably one of the key components to being part of Phi Theta Kappa. But I think everything that I can take in as a chapter officer is just going to make me that much better at my duty to Phi Theta Kappa. And I feel like it helps me to be able to dive in deeper as a student in any class that I have, because I know how to research, and that just makes me stronger as a student and as a person. So I would say even just having the chance to come onto this webinar was a big deal for me. It opened me up to another opportunity that I might not have had otherwise. So I feel like Phi Theta Kappa is really helping me to grow as not only as a person, but also as a student and a professional.
I'm so thrilled that you feel that way, because it really is. I think we were emailing back and forth about an opportunity that you told us you had a really good experience with a recruiter from a particular 4-year school, and I turned around and said, we got to get this lady on our webinar, because she's the type of student who is not only looking out for herself, but she's reporting back and telling us about opportunities that are out there for other students. So I think that's part of the network that we try to build, is to make sure that you feel compelled not only to help yourself, but also to kind of make the community better around you, whether it's your campus or your physical community as well. And we appreciate the fact that you took time to be on the webinar with us and to think thoughtfully about going to Honors Institute and making the most of those opportunities as well. I will say Honors Institute, last summer was the first Honors Institute that I have ever attended, and as a staff member, I could tell that the level of engagement at Honors Institute really is reminiscent of my experience as a graduate student. So I'll go so far as to say I think it almost skips over the bachelor's degree level in terms of if you really go to Honors Institute and engage like you're meant to, I think you will be well prepared and not surprised when you get to graduate school about the coursework and the workload and how kind of on your game you always have to be in terms of your critical thinking and research skills. I think I want to close. I don't know if we have more questions coming in, so Errol, if you want to talk to us about any questions you see, but Samantha, I'd really like to draw upon your skill set as a transfer coordinator, because primarily everyone on this call is involved with transfer students, whether they are one themselves or they're an advisor of transfer students or prospective transfer students. Do you have any advice just in general speaking to the prospective transfer students who might be listening? Because they are very well organized and there are students who like to think ahead a couple of steps. So anything that you have to offer, I think, would be tremendously helpful and intriguing to these students.
Definitely, when you're looking at what you might want to study, contact that department. I mean, I know at Arkansas Tech, the professors are eager to hear from you. They really want to help you. So feel free to contact them about anything you might have questions about, like maybe you're looking at transferring not for a year or two, but they can definitely tell you like what classes, for sure how to be on the right path for a certain degree. If you're wanting to transfer to a certain college, that way you have a degree set out for you and your for sure classes will transfer to that college. I know some schools have certain agreements with different to your colleges, but some schools may not, and that way you're for sure taking the right classes in order to transfer there. And also feel free to contact admissions office, any questions you have with any kind of application or anything like that. Or if you're even looking at Arkansas Tech, feel free to contact me. And I'd be happy to help you with any questions you have with the campus tour or meeting with a certain department, any questions with the application, your classes, or anything like that. I'm here to help you.
Thank you so much. That's very generous of you to give an open invitation for everyone to contact you. And Samantha, if you want to type in the chat box your email address or any sort of contact information, we would love to have that accessible to everyone so they can easily find you. With the internet these days, though, if you write down Samantha Huggins in Arkansas Tech, I'm sure you'll be able to find it pretty easily. But the same goes for myself. My information, my name is not on the screen as far as my picture, so I wanted to make sure I put it on the slide here for everyone. If you do need any assistance with anything related to Phi Theta Kappa, please let me know. And Ariel and Audrey, if you want to provide your information as well, if people want to contact you, you can certainly find me on Facebook as well and friend me on Facebook. I promise I won't turn you down. I want to help all students, whether it's Arkansas Tech or whether it's any of the other colleges across the country that are offering exclusive PTK scholarships. We're really here to serve you and support you. And exactly what Samantha said, reach out and call people at that institution you're looking at, because they probably want you to go to their school as badly as you want to go to their school, because that's why they are there. That's why they have a job. They're there to support and serve you. So don't feel like you're bothering anyone or like you're inconveniencing someone by asking a question. I think people like Samantha are probably going to be thrilled to hear from you, and the departments are also going to love hearing from you as a student who is trying to plan ahead. So that's a great piece of advice from a four-year college recruiter, and you heard it from Arkansas Tech that they want to hear from you, and then that they are not going to be annoyed or feel like you're bothering them in any way, shape, or form. And even our best students, our top of the top Phi Theta Kappa members, I think need to be reminded of that as well, that you're not in this alone. There's a lot of people supporting you and that want to see you succeed. And that includes those four-year universities that you're looking at as well. Any closing remarks from any of our panelists? Ariel, I don't know if you have any questions that you need to bring up to us, or Audrey, if you want to give any last words of advice.
I would like to say, if you're not sure and you want to be about becoming a Phi Theta Kappa member and you're just on the brink of doing it, I say go ahead and try it out, because I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. And thank you for the opportunity to be on your webinar.
You are more than welcome. You've certainly earned it, and you have been a real bright spot and added a lot of value to our webinar tonight. So I thank you, Audrey, for being willing to put yourself out here on this webinar tonight.
I just wanted to add, we got a question, and it was, are only the Phi Theta Kappa officers allowed to attend Catalyst? And that's an interesting question, but anyone in the Phi Theta Kappa family is encouraged and we hope would be able to attend Catalyst. This past convention was my first time attending a Phi Theta Kappa convention, and I was completely blown away. You interact on a certain level over email and phone, but the actual in-person Catalyst experience was like nothing else I had ever experienced. So, you know, the conventions and the regional conferences and Honors Institute and all of those events are not singularly for officers or people with a, you know, a position, quote unquote. They're for everyone. So I just wanted to make that point.
That's a great question too. And I appreciate anyone, active members, alumni, you're welcome to come back to these events and help out in any way that you can contribute. And I always tell people, even if you're too shy or you don't see yourself in a leadership role, not everyone sees themselves as a chapter officer, you can also call yourself an ambassador of Phi Theta Kappa and even a recruiter for Phi Theta Kappa, as long as you're doing something, even if it's behind the scenes and helping plan an induction ceremony or building a website or handling social media for your chapter. Those are all important leadership roles. They may not have a formal title, but you'll be able to tell your future employers and applicants or four-year college admissions recruiters and scholarship providers. You'll be able to talk to them and tell a really compelling story about all the things that you did on your own initiative through Phi Theta Kappa. So please remember that and don't discredit yourself if you're not in an officer role. You are still a member and you can call yourself an active member if you are engaging and helping out with these types of opportunities. Samantha, do you have any closing words for us about Arkansas Tech or anything that might help our transfer students stay on task?
Well, for our scholarships, I didn't mention our deadlines. The deadline for fall is June 1st, and the deadline for spring is December 15th. So you just have to be accepted by that deadline right now. Starting in the spring, in spring 2018, we'll actually have a separate scholarship application as well to submit with your application. So that's one thing to consider as well.
That's great. Stay on those deadlines. You know, our students are very on top of things, but life gets in the way and you don't want to pass up on a possible opportunity for $6,000 a year through a school like Arkansas Tech if you're applying. So very important, and thank you for mentioning your deadline, Samantha. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. I don't know if we have anything else we need to wrap up, Ariel, or we seem to be caught up. And we're on the dot at 8 o'clock here. So
yeah, we're
caught up. Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you. I appreciate everyone staying on top of that chat and Q&A box this evening and for you all being so interactive. I saw a lot of pop-ups, and I appreciate everyone for listening and staying with us for the whole hour. You're already showing what we think is really important about Phi Theta Kappa, which is to take initiative and show that you're a person that likes to professionally and personally develop. So just being with us this evening is proof of that. If you're looking at accepting membership, let us know if you have questions. Otherwise, we hope that this was helpful in making your decision about joining Phi Theta Kappa. So to all of our panelists, thank you for making time to be here with us and talk about Phi Theta Kappa, and special thanks to Arkansas Tech University for their investment and their continued investment in Phi Theta Kappa members. We truly appreciate your support and your interest in student success. If anyone wants to access this recording, we should have it posted to our YouTube channel for Phi Theta Kappa and on our website as well. And we can provide this if you want to email us and ask it for us as well. And that way you can share it with the rest of your chapter and others that might be inquiring about why they should join. So thank you all so much for being here, and we appreciate your time this evening, and have a wonderful night ahead of fellowship, scholarship, leadership, and service, and what you might be working on for your homework as well. Good luck with finals. All right, thanks everyone. We appreciate you. Have a great night. Thank you.